This segment is sponsored by CMIC.
Many companies aim to ensure energy efficiency on projects. This is the case for one engineering firm that has leveraged technology in a unique way to help a high-profile client achieve LEED certification. Joining me to talk all about it is Andrew Clendenen, Director of Business Development at C1S Group. So Andrew, welcome to the show.
Thanks, glad to be here.
So Andrew, tell us a little bit about C1S Group and what you guys do.
Yeah, so we're an engineering construction company, been around about 16 years. Most of our work is in existing manufacturing facilities, existing buildings. That's sort of our specialty, is going in and helping facility managers execute on projects that they maybe don't have the time or capacity to get done. And yeah, we think we're pretty good at it.
Now you guys do a lot of renovations and things like that, so that's what you've been doing. How old of a company is it?
So we've been around about 16 years.
That's
started
what you said,
in 2001.
16. Okay. So
yeah.
Now the types of projects you've been doing, a lot of LEED work, and that's what you guys have specialized in with some of the work that you've done there?
Yeah, LEED for existing buildings is one of the things that we're really good at. We've done about 20 projects across the country. We actually helped adopt the program from office buildings to a manufacturing setting. Now we have done a lot of office buildings. We've done the first LEED EB Gold campus certification for the Frito-Lay headquarters here in Plano, and then most recently just finished the LEED Platinum certification for the Pepsi global headquarters up in Purchase, New York.
Now that had to be pretty exciting because you guys have really evolved over the years learning how to do that, correct?
It was a lot of fun. That was an interesting project. Took about 10 years to get done, from sort of the concept phase all the way through what they did. It was a gut renovation for their facility, and then obviously we were there for about a year and a half after the construction project, verifying their operations.
So doing something like that takes a lot of involvement, a lot of work to do that. Did you think it was going to take that long and that you would be involved in that process for that length of time?
Well, you know, going back to 10 years ago, probably not. There was so much that had to be done with that building that you had to question whether or not Pepsi had the desire to commit to
the wherewithal, right? You're talking about the wherewithal to really commit to do something like that.
Right. So thankfully they did, and we were along for the ride and played a fun part with that team. So,
what kind of things do you have to do in a renovation like that to get LEED certified? What kind of things did you have to help them with?
Well, really, it was in the very beginning. It was formulating a plan. What were the opportunities? So they had to look at upgrading their building control system, HVAC system. A lot of the insulation in the building, you know, it was built in the 70s, 60s, and 70s, so it was a vintage building that lacked some of the technological advances that we've been able to see in the construction industry.
So why is that so important today? Is it about cost? Is it about energy? Is it about efficiency? What was so important to PepsiCo to do that and to hire a company like you guys to help them along?
Well, at the bottom line, the net result is that they're saving about $250,000 a year in operating costs after the fact of the renovation. So there's payback. But for a lot of companies, it's difficult to quantify exactly what they're doing with their sustainability efforts. So you go to the LEED program because it's sort of a box for you to not a box, but a program that is recognizable throughout the industry.
So did they have an idea that they were going to save almost $250,000 by doing that?
It was pretty clear early on. Obviously, the building is performing a little bit better than what was anticipated, but yeah, the savings were baked into the project.
So what are you guys doing now? So what is C1S Group doing now? What have you guys been working on with other companies?
Yeah, a lot of our projects are faced, since we're focused more on the industrial setting or manufacturing setting, we're looking at a pretty close 2 to for your return on investment for a lot of the projects that we're doing. So you've got to have the ROI there for your energy upgrades, and sometimes that doesn't always mean that you're going to go for a LEED certification, but you will save energy and you will save resources if you're always have that in mind.
So basically you're helping companies develop a plan, develop an outline, and look for what they need to do to renovate, to be more productive and be more profitable. That's ultimately the goal?
It is, yes. And to that end, we've got teams of people that will actually, on the very early end of a CapEx plan, go into a building and try and help the corporate manager as well as the facility manager on site prioritize those projects. So we're looking at things that are 2 or 3 years out that are design and construction opportunities that we're helping to identify, budget, and then design and execute.
Andrew Clendenen, the Director of Business Development at C1S Group, thank you for being with us.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
All right, well, that's our Someone You Should Know.